Okay, so we have the self-image modality. So I want to start by asking you both a question. What is the image you have of yourself?
Image I want to have or image I have?
Let's say both of them then. You can tell me which one you have now and which one you want to have.
Well, I mean, if I start first, well, it depends. It depends on my mood and depends on the day. Because now I came back, I just did some very easy workshop, intuition. I've never been to this. So I've got 5 hours of automatic reading and coloring pictures everywhere like kids, just playing fun, ask cards and these things. So I'm super happy. So now my self-image of myself is very high. I would say. So full of, like happy and joyful, bright future. But my image can be a little bit like unstable, even if I like try to remember the things, ask me in 2-3 days. It might be different, I don't know. But definitely it is more positive wise by, let's say, percentage or anything compared to when I started with you 6 months ago. So definitely it shifted and it changed for better, which is definitely good for me.
So in what way has it changed then? Like, can you be specific?
I'm like calmer. I'm more patient. I can decode my like negative feelings. What if they shows up? What is behind? And I exceed learning not to repeat it. I got rid of some bad habits. Well, I still have them, like going to bed late or something. But it's slowly. At least I am aware of it. Before I just didn't care at all, and now I am aware, and I try to shift it.
Okay, good. So basically you're saying your self-image of yourself is that you're a calm person, a patient person, you're aware of your emotions, you're accepting of the emotions that you describe as negative.
But also I'm choosing happiness and joy with like my awareness. It's not if it happens to me, but I'm really choosing it. So if there is anything, any event planned or anything, I used to go in the mood I was in, and it completely changed. I go there really to enjoy it, to have fun, and to really just radiate as positive feelings as I can. And so far it's been working.
So you sound like a pretty awesome person to me then.
Oh yeah, I've become an awesome person.
Then you said that you also have an image that you would like to become. So I guess you want to make some modifications to your image.
Modification, I mean to keep it permanent. When the days come, I don't want to go back to my old me, which I'm more aware of. So I just need to keep on going and keep on changing, not to slip into the old habits and into the old patterns, which is so easy to do, and to old beliefs. I think that I've changed a lot, but as it said, I mean, it's never-ending process. Yeah, so just work on me and to enjoy it and enjoy the process.
Okay. And then what's your definition of make it permanent?
Like
How long does permanent exist for?
to make it permanent for me, if I just if I am just really happy, and if I feel love inside of me, and if I just radiate the joy, no matter what, or no matter faces I see around me, or no matter place I go and which might not be very happy, it would be good actually if I change the place to my level, instead of I enter the place and the people and to drop down.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be my goal, to keep it.
And do you think this is achievable?
Yes.
Good. You sound very convinced, and I also agree with you.
Mm. Look at you.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I have this. I have
Happy
these.
all the time, right? High all the time.
Yeah.
I
Pretty
know I'm
bad.
making fun of it. It's not, I didn't mean to make like nasty jokes, no way at all. But I really like it. And that's why we keep coming back, because, you know, like for people who are, you know, like always happy and smiling. So these people just give us strength and hope that we'll reach it somehow, somewhere.
Yeah. Perfect. And I guess if you can spread your happiness, love, and joy wherever you go, no matter what people are around you, then you're not going to slip into old patterns and beliefs anyway, because then you are embodying your new self. So it will already be embodied at that stage.
Yeah. But I know for me it goes with in waves, because I came back to Dubai like a short time ago, been out for a while. So the longer I stay, the more unstable it is. So for me, it is just a test. A test. Now I'm not traveling. I'll be staying for 3 months. So I'll see how I go.
Okay, good. Anything else you would like to add?
I love you guys, all of you. Just share. Just continue this. You know?
It was love at first sight. You know, that day we met. We love you too. Okay, let's hear what Shalini has to say then.
Yeah, for me, my self-image has always been what others think about me, and what I have always tried to project, the image that I try to project out of myself towards others. And while doing this work, and during the 2 previous sessions that we had with Shakti, I realized that the projection that I want to give to the world about myself is not necessarily my true self. It is based on my set of beliefs, on the values that I hold, which is according to my education, my value system, my conditionings. It's not really who I am and who I'm becoming. So for me, I realized that, and I want to be in tune with my inner self, being myself inside out, so that there is no gap between who I am really and what I want to project. So the idea of trying to project an image, it no longer holds for me now, because I just want to be, to feel, to live life, to be myself, and whatever I am inside, I want that to reflect, not to be projected, but to reflect outside. So I want my being, the beingness, to radiate. And just like Yana said, that she wants to spread love to everyone, everywhere she goes. So I want that to be natural for me. I think I'm working towards it, and it's happening gradually, but I know it's a process. And the more I will turn inwards and be my inner self, I know that when I start operating at the soul frequency constantly, then it will happen and it will radiate all the time. So this is basically what I am aiming at, the self-image that I see myself becoming gradually while doing this work.
Okay, great. So I guess both of you have these, like you're in a process, right? That it's a constant flux.
Yes.
Like one day is not going to be the same as what yesterday was. Things are ever changing. And that's great because we are living in this manifested reality where the only sure thing is that everything is constantly changing.
Yeah.
You know, you look at a plant today, but the next day it's not the same. Something will have changed in it. It's grown a little, or flowers came out with. This is our nature when we're operating in this manifested reality. And one of the things I picked up with Jana was how you said how to make it permanent. So permanent means like forever. So of course, Jana's body is not permanent. At some point that will change, right? At some point, the body will say, I'm sorry, I can't really handle this anymore. And the body will cease to operate. But there must be something else behind that that is in fact permanent. So even once Jana's physical body has gone, Jana will still have some way to make herself permanent. And the fascinating thing about this is, if you try to logically ask yourself, what is the permanent part of me? So maybe let's just close our eyes for a couple of minutes and try to have a logical conversation with yourself. What is the thing that's permanent about me that was never born and can never die and will always be there? Okay, so I know we just had a couple of minutes there, but if you had any ideas, let's just share. Remember, there's no right, wrong, good, bad here. Like we're just having fun sharing some ideas.
Well, I can start, but I don't think there's going to be like something new. I will say, so permanent is definitely not my body. What I feel is going to be my heart. And what I mean by my heart is going to be the light. What I am is going to be my frequency. It's going to be my karma, which are still with me. And I think that that's it. I did not have like any more ideas didn't come.
Okay, but your karma is permanent?
No, karma is not. No, karma is not permanent. But yes, you are right. Actually, this is just karma for the time being because it keeps burning, and I may add if I act the way to bring more. So actually karma is not actually permanent. But then what is permanent? Because even the light, even the frequency, it can change.
Exactly. So that cannot be permanent either, right?
It's not, and this is what we are, right? So there's nothing permanent. At least now I can see anything which is permanent.
Okay, good. So that's a good starting point. Let's see what Shalini has to say on the matter.
Yeah, yeah. When I close my eyes, I just felt the calm and the peace within, and I tried to connect with my inner self, and I got these three words: Sat, Chit, Ananda. So, which is basically the eternal truth, consciousness, and bliss. But then, when I tried to connect with consciousness, then I realized that even Satchitananda is not that eternal self, which is even beyond these three states. Actually, the eternal self is the Atma, the soul. The soul. I don't know how it feels like. I was trying to feel this state of the soul, but I was only feeling joy in my heart when we just close our eyes, and I was trying to feel what is permanent within me. I was just feeling joy. Yeah, I was centered in my heart, and I was feeling that joy. But I know that it's Atma, which is permanent.
Yeah. So, and is it possible for us to actually describe to somebody the feeling of eternity, or this permanent feeling? Could we describe that to someone such that they could actually be able to feel that for themselves, or it doesn't seem like a possibility?
I think it's very difficult to describe it in words because it's something that we have to experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't know. Yeah.
Let's do a trial of something, because I just want to hang on to what you said there. It's something you have to experience. So let's just close our eyes. So here on planet Earth, we have this fruit called a strawberry. So I'm going to try and see if you can taste a strawberry. It has the red color, but then when I look at it, it's not a uniform red. There's like slightly different shades of red all around it. And then it's got little dots all around it as well. And it has green leaves at the end of the strawberry. And then when you bite into the strawberry and you're chewing the strawberry in your mouth, you can taste the sweetness, but at the same time, there's almost like a sour taste. And as you're tasting it, the texture is becoming so soft and mushy. And at some point, you're tasting more of the sweetness. At other points, you're tasting more of the sourness, but at the same time, it's all mixed together. It's like you're having a whole mixture of flavors at the same time. Okay, were any of you able to taste the strawberry?
Yes, because of the memories I have.
I was visualizing it, but I couldn't feel the taste.
I don't, it was my memory. My memory, suddenly I could smell the strawberry. Of course, I can see, but this is the memory, past memories, which I have of eating strawberries, and I can recall it.
Yeah. Well, let's imagine there's a country on planet Earth where they don't have strawberries. So there's someone that's never seen a strawberry.
Okay.
There's no way they could taste it with that description, right?
Yes.
So it's the same with our permanent self. If we try to put words onto it, it cannot convey the experience. It like ruins the experience because the mind is still involved and the ego is still involved trying to logically comprehend. Whereas the part of us, which is permanent and never was born and will never die, is beyond the comprehension of the mind. What Shalini said about the experience. So as long as there's an experiencer and the thing being experienced, that's still not it. It's only the experiencing. So it's only that moment where we're experiencing where we actually understand what we are. Like the person with the PhD who tries to write about it cannot convey the experience of our permanence. It's been ruined. It's just like, think about how the bud of the flower just opens up. It just knows how to open up. No one had to give it instructions. So it's the same with us. When our mind and ego get out of the way, then this experience of our true self just opens up.
But the flower, it opens up because it has blueprint, right?
Blueprint, yeah.
And we have also some blueprint inside, but it's a different question.
The entire universe is contained within us.
Yeah.
The entire blueprint of the whole universe is contained within us.
Yeah.
That means if the entire universe is already contained within us, also that point before the first vibration created the whole universe is also contained within us. So we will know ourselves when the question itself and the answer to the question disappear. So that question of who am I, or what am I, or what is my eternal self, once the question and the answer disappear, then we're left with that experience of our permanent self.
I'm not there yet.
You're nobody. Exactly. And in the end, when you realize you're nobody, it's a huge realization.
Yeah.
So when we think about the ego, so we have Yana saying, I'm a calm person, I'm a patient person, I'm aware of my feelings, right? So this is the like external ego or the false ego, because that's always changing, because 6 months ago Yana was not a calm person and she was not a patient person. So we want to distinguish between the superficial designations that we give to ourselves and the true ego, which is our identification with God or identification with Atma, however you want to term it, with the soul. And one of the beautiful things about this path that we're on is that we can allow ourselves to play around with this. So like I have my moments where I'm so deeply absorbed in samadhi that I have absolutely no clue about anything. I literally know nothing. No thing. I'm in a space of no thingness. There's no me, there's no I, there's no body, there's no name, there's nothing. But equally, I can play around in this world and enjoy this embodied, manifested reality. You know, like this, what we're doing now, you have no idea how much fun I have with these interactions, or teaching the yoga classes, or going down to the beach. So on this journey, we can play around. We're allowed to be both of these things. We're allowed to be this embodied reality and experience it to its absolute fullest potential, but we're also allowed to allow the mind and the ego to just switch off and go into utter nothingness, which is where we find the Satchitananda, this truth of eternal consciousness and bliss. The problem would arise if we only identify with our external components and we get very obsessed with all of these external components. That's where suffering will inevitably come in, because we're always going to be chasing after something which is not permanent. So the more we allow ourselves to plug into our infinite part, the more ingrained will become this deep sense of truth within us that we are the source of our happiness and we are the source of our bliss and our relaxation and our calmness. And that will actually help us to enjoy this embodied reality more. So this is why, like, doing the regular practice of yoga is so important, because it will help the mind to become more and more calm and take more rest, so that we can allow our soul qualities to shine through more, because the mind is no longer in the way, the ego is no longer in the way. And so this is where we bring in this aspect of Tantra, which I've mentioned before. Tantra is a huge umbrella. Kriya Yoga is under Tantra, Hatha Yoga is under Tantra, so many other different techniques come under Tantra. And it's using all of these different practices and rituals and meditations so that we can actually, first of all, become aware that we have Prakriti aspect, which is the material aspect, or the almost like the Shakti power, this manifestation power, this energy that Yana was talking about, right? This vibration, we're part of this whole vibration. But that we also have this more spiritual side, the Purusha, or the more Shiva aspect. So then when we practice Kriya Yoga, when we practice Hatha Yoga, when we do this journey of self-exploration, then we start to become more comfortable with both of these aspects. Whereas if you walk around the streets, the 99.99% of people are only aware of the Prakriti. They're only aware of this manifested material aspect. But we will never be able to become completely comfortable with that aspect if we only focus our attention on it, because we're always going to be searching for the next thing to try and give us comfort and happiness. And this is one of the beauties about Tantra as a philosophy, is that we're allowed to embrace both of these aspects of ourselves. Some of the philosophies in yoga can be very much about rejecting the material aspect as completely illusory and only focusing on the spiritual aspect. But that's quite a challenging path. And as both of you have so beautifully said today, there's a lot of joy to be found in this manifested reality, and we are the ones who choose to live a life of joy. So the fact that you're both so empowered now to know that you're the one that chooses, I will have joy in my life, and I will actually not only just keep it for myself, I will spread that joy to the other people. In these moments, we can also find God. So this is one of the beauties about Tantra. It's like even this embodied existence is still God, right? It's still Shakti. And Shiva and Shakti are just two sides of the same coin. So the path that you're both on is so good, because it's going to continue to bring you closer to this principle of God within yourselves, by you finding your own joy and sharing it with all the other beautiful beings around us. So in the end, we are using all of these human being qualities, the physical body, the mind, the intellect, even the ego. We're using these as our instrument to liberate ourselves eventually from all of the karmas, which is preventing us from seeing ourselves, because the karmas are stuck around the soul, so to speak. So we are known as a jiva, a spirit. So we're a soul, but we have certain qualities around that soul that's not allowing us to fully understand that we actually are the soul. So we're just a spirit. The moment we can release all these karmas, then we realize we're the soul. And again, this is at that moment where there's no description to give it. It's just an experience. So basically what I'm saying is continue to really savor this manifested existence, enjoy it, experience it to the fullest, because that's where we will find God, by really experiencing everything to the fullest potential. So we can think of Prakriti as the substance or the material which makes up this universe. It's the power behind this whole manifested reality. Absolutely everything which is alive, animate, inanimate, doesn't matter in this reality, has the Shakti power weaving through it. So everything is connected, everything is weaved together, woven together by this Shakti power. And of course, I'm doing this right, which is meaning it's in constant flux, it's always changing, the patterns are always changing. And it's like, there's even a freedom in that. There's a real freedom in fluidity, right? Think about it, when you like dance or something, you suddenly feel more free. So Shakti is free to weave through this reality that she's created as she desires. So what that means for us is that we actually have the freedom to weave this reality as we would like to weave it. So we can choose our reality in this Prakriti universe. You are absolutely 100% empowered to choose the reality that you want for yourself. And then we have the Purusha. So Purusha, we could almost think as the weaver. So Shakti is all of these connections, and Purusha is able to weave himself through all these connections. But if you imagine Purusha did not have all of these threads that Shakti's created, right? All of these connections, all of these energetic vibrations. If they were not there, then Purusha couldn't weave through them. He couldn't do anything. There's no power to do it. He would just be sitting there in nothingness, because nothing would exist around him, because Shakti hasn't manifested anything for him. So Purusha is penetrating Shakti, Prakriti. Shiva is penetrating Prakriti. He's penetrating that material that she has been able to manifest. And then that creates form. So in the end, in this universe, they both need each other. The universe cannot exist without both of them. So one of the very deep experiences I had once was where I was the point of absolute nothingness. There was no awareness of duality, but I wasn't even saying me or I, it's just nothingness. Then I slowly started to realize, wait a minute, there's something more than just unity or me. I feel like there's something else to this. And I slowly started to become aware that there's other people, there's smells, there's tastes, I have a body, all of this. It was like I went from the point of where nothing exists, and then how were Shiva and Shakti able to bring this universe into manifestation, and how I could then weave myself through that universe. So what we're ended up is we're in Lila. Lila is this divine play that we have chosen. Because you can either just be in the void of nothingness for all eternity, or you can make it interesting and you can decide to manifest this universe and be an actor in this universe. So we're all part of this theater known as Lila. And we might as well make the most of it. And one of the amazing things when we start to get to the kind of level that you ladies are at now, where you're starting to take charge of your own reality because you've actually felt that truth deep down that you can shape your reality, that you're no longer a victim of reality, you're the actual one who chooses, is that all of the people and the circumstances which come into our life are coming into our life for a reason. And in fact, one of the crazy things, and this is an experience I've had, when I look back, it's not something which we can, again, a lot of the things we talk about, the logical mind cannot really comprehend, is I would remember how I brought certain people or circumstances into my life. But at the time, I had forgotten that I had programmed them in. But when I then looked back, I was like, I actually remember calling that in. And I now remember why I did it, because I had forgotten something that I had to remember. So I had to find a way to make myself remember. So that's quite a deep level, because it's a truth you feel so deep down. You remember, almost I remember having the conversation with myself, whatever, 10 years ago, saying to myself, I need to bring in that person for that thing. But at the time, your memory gets wiped clean. So everything which is happening in your life, you have chosen and you have manifested because you had to for your own evolution. Which is really beautiful when you think about it. So even though something might feel like a really tough situation, we've actually manifested it for some kind of reason. And what that reason is, every situation is different, right? Every person is different. But if we allow ourselves to just kind of take a step back and maybe be a bit more of an observer at times, we might be able to actually get an insight into, okay, why is that person in my life? What have I learned? And is the lesson over? You know, is it time to whatever, cut the ties and say lesson learned? Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, or whatever circumstance or pattern that we're reliving. You know, like I was working here in Mexico with one girl who was raped, and then more sexual abuse from different people came after that. So it was like she was stuck in this pattern. It's something I've seen so many times. You just keep playing the same pattern out. And with the work that I've done with her here, she said, I know in my deepest core, the pattern has been broken now. Mm. And she's able to look back in the situations and actually comprehend why it had to happen, which is crazy when it's something as extreme as that. But she's reinitiated a deeper connection to herself that maybe she would not have been able to initiate had she not had these things happen to her, and work through them and feel where the linkages, where were the points that were not linking up in her body, which are now linked up. So I like to look at people as mirrors. Like, what is it that I can see in this person that maybe is just a simple reflection of myself? So I always approach everything with an open mind, especially if it starts to become like a kind of challenging situation in my life. Then I'm like, okay, there's definitely something I need to see here that's a bit deeper. So I would just say going in life with this openness and curiosity to see why is it that we chose, again, I think always important to remain empowered. We chose it. We're not a victim of circumstances. We chose it. And this is what I'm saying from personal experience of these deeper insights that I've been able to feel, is that I chose everything in my life, every single thing. Even I feel I chose my parents. And being born in Scotland, you know. So you should feel empowered about absolutely everything in your lives. And coming back a little bit to these teachings of Tantra, the more we accept both aspects of ourselves and we allow ourselves to play around with both of them, the more we're going to see ourselves in other people, because we actually get to spend some time, even if it's this much time, when you're sitting meditating and for a moment the mind switches off, the ego switches off, and there's no awareness of anything external. You know that it's just unity. There's just only one thing exists. Even if you get it for the blink of an eye, you, like Yana said about the taste of the strawberry, somehow she remembers that. You will remember the taste of that moment of pure consciousness, of just oneness. Then when we go out into the external world and we interact with other people, we act from much more of an open heart space, because we realize, as Yana has said, everything is the same energy anyway. You can't somehow think that you just separate this part of, you know, whatever, this country, people living in this country, separate them from this, because everything is linked. Shakti is everywhere. So then we start to act from a space of much more love and compassion, but not because we're logically convincing ourselves of that fact. It's because it radiates out of us. As Shalini said, she wants to just go out and just allow the soul quality to radiate out from us. It will just happen by its own accord. And the people will feel this, be it on a conscious level or an unconscious level, doesn't matter. Something in their field will pick that up. The joy and the calmness and the bliss of this beautiful human being that's walked into their presence. So again, it's coming back to, this is why it's so important that we continue to do also the practice of yoga. Because Patanjali said right in the beginning of the Yoga Sutras, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the calming of the fluctuations of the mind. We have to keep our mind calm, and it's the practices of yoga that will keep our mind calm. That's how we get the mind out the way for a moment. Doesn't matter if it's just for 1 second, so that we taste and remember and experience our permanent self. And the more time, you know, like every day I meditate, obviously, right? So every day, even if I'm having a day where my mind is very busy, whatever, there's a lot going on, I will still always get a glimpse of that experience. So every day I'm reminding myself of my permanence. Eventually it becomes so ingrained that it becomes your truth. So then you walk around with this deep truth of, I'm here forever, but I'm going to enjoy this existence right now that I have chosen for myself, because we all chose to be here. And that's where the joy just flows by itself, because we know we're permanent anyway. Nothing to worry about. We're going to be here forever anyway. So might as well enjoy every part of the existence that we can get our hands on while we can. And so it also means that we can use, as I said previously in the discussion today, we can use all of these amazing things that we have been gifted by God as human beings, right? We have these bodies that we can move around. Okay, sometimes like my right shoulder has been sore for now around 5 years. It's not ideal, but it's okay, right? I'm still grateful for this body. I can still move everything pretty well. We have the mind that can think, because we still have to think. But what we want to make sure is that we do not overuse the things. So we use the mind and the body and the intellect and the ego to enjoy this existence and to interact with all these other people, which anyway are part of us, because all the energies are mixed together. It's all the same matrix of energy. Just like if we want to go outside where it's raining, we have our umbrella. But then we don't go to bed still holding the umbrella or hugging the umbrella. We put the umbrella away when we come in the house and it's not raining inside the house. So it's the same thing with our mind. We don't want to overuse the mind, right? There's times when we can take a quiet time for ourselves and we can give some time for the mind to just relax. So this is very important. So then we become the masters of this human existence. We use all of these beautiful qualities that we've been endowed with by God when we need them to interact in this reality. But when we don't need them, and we can allow ourselves to just have that silent time to explore the pure silence, right? The pure silence before anything began in the universe, then we can allow the mind to just quieten at that stage. So we're really respecting ourselves that way. We're giving each part of ourselves an opportunity to flourish, and we're giving each part of ourselves the opportunity to switch on when we want it and switch off when we want it as well. So I think that's everything I wanted to say today.
Beautiful. Very nice speech. I enjoyed it. Yes, really. Yes, very nice.
So
Yes.
if there's any comments or questions, then happy to hear always.
So basically, when we meditate and we have those tiny, these glimpses of nothingness, it's actually the state of Purusha within us that we are experiencing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if I've understood what you've been explaining to us, the only thing that comes in the way when we are trying to be that state of permanence within us, it's our karma. And we have to keep working on ourselves to dissolve that karma gradually, so that this state can pervade, can permeate our being. So that's why we are doing yoga, we are doing meditation constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because let's say, for example, let's take the Hatha yoga practice,
Yeah.
or even the yin yoga practice. So think about sometimes when we're in an asana and we can feel our body is capable of holding the position but there's something which is feeling so intense that we're like, oh my God, I'd rather not hold this any longer. This is getting really intense. And you feel the intensity building up. The body is capable of holding the position, but there's something there that needs released. So if we stick with it and stick with it and stick with it, at some point, that thing which was holding on there will be released. That piece of karma, that samskara, will be released. Maybe if we were never to release that, we wouldn't be able to sit comfortably on the floor for whatever 1 full hour or 2 full hours or 3 full hours, because we would start to feel that point like, it's like pulling or it's hurting or whatever. So by doing these practices, we actually relieve ourselves of these samskaras, which have been imprinted all around the body, which makes us have more ability to go deeper in for a longer time without being pulled out of it by some kind of distraction, be it bodily pain or the mind going crazy or whatever. So that's how, on a kind of more, if we can even call it, scientific level. Yeah. So I guess that's everything for today then. That was really fun. As I said, what a great existence, what a beautiful life, and so nice to connect with you ladies who are doing so well and are so eager to not just evolve yourselves, but, you know, spread the love to the other people around you so that other people can get inspired by you. You know, now you're going to be the ones inspiring the other people, which is amazing.
Yeah, we'll make this world a better place.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
All right, ladies. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Kayvana. Thank you
Amazing.
so much. Yes,
Yeah.
for today.
Love you.
Yes, it was really nice.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right. See you soon.
See you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.